Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want right here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Jump into one of those, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us tonight. It's Ian.
And the Reverend Captain Kickass.
Yeah, so, hey, coronavirus, it's still a thing.
I just want to ask all the listeners out there, how you inmates doing anyway?
Yeah, in the open-air prison known as the United States.
So I don't know if many of the listeners realize that, cows, if you will, being from Wisconsin, the America's Dairyland, cows, if you will, if you just keep them in the barn and feed them and, you kind of don't let them out at all or whatever, their milk production stops.
Not so great, huh?
You know what I mean? Because they're captive. They don't, you know what I mean? And so the farmers obviously can't free them and let them roam about and just do whatever they want.
That's why they have a pasture, though.
So they have a pasture and they fence it in. So they're basically free-range animals at that point, but they're still captive. But it keeps their milk production up.
Right.
Statism is a lot like farming in that respect, right? So,
yeah,
if your masters, quarantine you in your house, you're going to go kind of nuts. You're going to get, your mind is going to start playing tricks on you. You're going to get cabin fever and all that stuff. Your production, particularly if your job moves from, in an office or in a retail location to just working from home or doing a little bit at home of what you could from before, that's going to affect you in different ways. But if they let you outside for this exercise and, these exceptions to these quarantine rules, well, then, you're still a productive tax cattle, right? You can still produce a little bit. They're still going to tax you. And
well, they are letting people outside in some states, and I think all of them claim to allow, at least so far what I've seen, even like New York, claims to allow people to go out and get some exercise. But in some places, people are being admonished if they...
Was it the Philippines or something where the head guy in charge, the head statist, was like, we order you to stay in and we will shoot you if you don't?
Yeah, I don't know what all the details are on that, but yeah, Duterte, the president of the Philippines, has threatened to shoot people who break whatever orders.
What a horrifying experience.
Well,
man.
But at least you can give him credit for not candy coating the reality of statism, because that is ultimately what's behind all of the governor's orders across the United States. It's just that, in the United States, they try to put a window dressing on, we're nicer than Duterte. We're nicer than Kim Jong-un. Yeah. We won't immediately execute you. We've got a court system that will put you through first.
Yeah, it's like the Godfather George Carlin said, when tyranny comes to the U.S., it'll be wearing Nike shoes and dressed in smiley faces.
And the fact is they will execute you if you don't go along with what those cops say. When they show up and say, you've got to go back inside, and you say, no.
Yeah.
Well, that's when they're going to increase the use of violence against you. Now, they may not jump straight to shooting you, but if you say no, and then you do something like, refuse to go along with them, start fighting them when they try to take you because you think you're a free person and you're like, hey, I'm not going with you. You're not going to make me.
Right.
And then they try to make you. And then if you try to defend yourself, at some point, they might just pull out a gun and shoot you. Because, they can.
I didn't find an article about it, but I kept seeing a report through various social media where somebody, I think they were on like a jet ski, right, by themselves in the ocean, nobody around, but on the beach. And so, cops came and...
I have the story.
You have that story? Oh, sweet. Awesome. All right.
The paddleboarder is what you're thinking of.
Right. Yeah, thank you.
Los Angeles Times reporting paddleboarder chased by a boat arrested in Malibu after flouting coronavirus closures. Story from yesterday. Hannah Fry reporting a paddleboarder was arrested Thursday after ignoring lifeguards' orders to get out of the ocean near the Malibu Pier despite beach closures amid the coronavirus pandemic. I'm going to say so-called pandemic. According to so-called authorities, county lifeguards patrolling the shore by boat tried to get the man to come to shore. Despite repeated orders to exit the water, were they worried he was going to infect the sharks or the dolphins or something like that? The man continued paddleboarding for at least 30 minutes. Boy, how dare he go out there and just do what he wants to do all by himself.
With
There's even
nobody
a photo
within any feet of him, really.
except for the people on the boat who are harassing him.
Right.
They were the only people that were anywhere near this guy. I mean, if anybody's ever seen these paddleboarders, it is a solitary activity.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's some sort of version of this where more than one person can be on the board. I've never seen it. It's always just one person with like a paddle, and they stand and just kind of move themselves along whatever waterway they're in. Going on here, video of the incident taken by bystanders along the shore and later posted to social media shows the man paddling toward the pier while being pursued by lifeguard and sheriff boats. I mean,
lifeguard and sheriff boats, as if one wasn't enough.
So apparently the people on the shore weren't a problem. The ones who were recording video and taking photos of this, you would presume they were probably closer to one another than the guy who was completely alone on the ocean.
But he didn't follow the order, Ian, and so they had to go after him. They ordered him to come back, and he was like, I'm not harming anybody. I'm going to stay out here and paddle.
And that is part of this, is if you disobey in a public manner, then they have to put you down. They have to.
They don't want to be embarrassed by that.
Right. They have to show their so-called authority and prove that they're in charge. Now, to be clear, they haven't done it to us yet. And we've been out a couple times in just the last week. You were working earlier this week, Captain Kickass, but you came out last night when we had our second nightcap, 2 weeks now in a row on Friday night, where you and I and I think actually several Free Talk Live, it's like mostly Free Talk Live hosts that are going out to this. But there were, at one point, we did hit 11 people.
We did, yeah, it's true.
At the downtown Central Square so-called Common here in Keene. And a good time was had by all, I would say.
Yeah.
I probably had a little too much to drink, but, it was all right.
It's called the nightcap for a reason, bro.
It was a good time. And you know what? The police drove by multiple times.
And didn't do a thing.
And didn't do anything. They also didn't do anything when we were out on Wednesday, on April 1st. We went out to, nobody and I, and about 13, I think,
this was
15 people.
At the state?
Yeah, we went to the State House. Because we'd already done Nightcap the previous week in Keene.
Right.
Keene's where we live. We're in the southwestern corner of New Hampshire, where there is a so-called stay-at-home order in place. And there's also an order prohibiting more than 10 people from gathering. So we wanted to go, since they left us alone in Keene. And I want to be left alone, mind you. Some people think, well, you're mad because you didn't get arrested. Actually, I'd rather not get arrested.
Yeah, I don't think any of us would like to get arrested.
I've got a lot to do, okay? I don't want to...
But I do like my freedom.
Yeah. So Camel Toe in our chat room is criticizing, saying, "Pay attention to me, cops! Wah!" And it's like, no, actually, I would prefer they just drive by. And I'm glad that in Concord, we actually had a cop wave at us as he drove by. So, like, maybe he actually supports the right to assemble. And that was what the point of the event was to protest, if you will, in favor of the right to assemble, which has just been crapped on by these government mandates all across the United States, in most states. Although I do have an article about some of the kind of semi-holdout states that haven't gone as far as
There's a few of
some
them
of the rest. But let's get back to the story here again. So Los Angeles Times, the man was booked at a sheriff's station in Calabasas, California, released on a promise to appear in court. When is that going to happen, by the way? Are they even having court? Are they even having jury trials? Because I know here they've canceled them.
Right. Well, let's see. A jury consists of 12 people, right? So that's violating the
and they all sit right
order
next to one another.
And we were talking about this, I believe, at the event last night, where, like, when they actually summon you for jury, there's sometimes 100 people or something that they have to sift through before they select the jury, and they ask them all to come to one place. So what do they do about that?
Exactly. So if you want to comment, you can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. I actually do have a little bit of good news, Captain. I wanted to talk about the president of Belarus. Have you heard about this guy?
I'll let you do that one.
It's really interesting because I've been wondering, sort of aloud on recent shows, like, where in the world is there still some semblance of sanity and freedom?
Belarus is an interesting example.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the way here. You can share your thoughts as well. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward Liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the Liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, you dial in toll-free to take control of the airwaves.
Toll-free, he said.
Yes, indeed. 855-450-FREE. In case you pay tolls these days on phone lines. Most people probably don't.
No toll for you.
But it's there. 855-450-FREE is the number. We also have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. In the studio here with you tonight, you've got Ian.
And the captain.
We're going to get into your calls here. But I do want to just briefly talk about this guy from Belarus, the president there. And as I think it was Raccoon in the chat room on our Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm pointed out, He says Belarus is not a semblance of sanity or freedom. Just look up basic info about them.
Well,
it's a leftish-leaning dictatorship that suppresses dissent, he says.
Yes.
And I don't deny that that's probably true.
I used to have a coworker who was from Belarus, and we had many a discussion. And despite the fact that what the Discord person is saying is true, he still was a statist. The Belarusian coworker that I had.
Why would that be a surprise? I mean,
Well,
shouldn't he be a statist?
I mean, I would think that if a guy, who's, grew up in Belarus and realized the oppressive government that existed there, moved to the U.S. to sort of escape that kind of a thing,
you would
think that he would be a little more amenable to the perspective of liberty. And we would have these discussions, and he would say things like, well, you have really good arguments. Your arguments are excellent, but you just don't understand what it would be like if there was no government.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of very intelligent people who have experienced statism, they respond to that by coming up with their own version of statism that they think would work better.
Right.
But here's a little brief piece from CNBC about this guy. Belarus, the country that borders Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Russia, and Ukraine. According to the story at CNBC, the president there, Alexander Lukashenko, as countries around the world effectively shut down to tackle the spread of the coronavirus, the authoritarian president of Belarus is urging citizens to drink vodka, go to saunas, and return to work. A global health crisis has prompted governments worldwide to impose draconian measures on the lives of hundreds of millions of people, which, as we know, we've covered in detail here. Yet in the Eastern European country of Belarus, borders remain open, and President Alexander Lukashenko remains unmoved by the coronavirus pandemic.
Drink the vodka.
Lukashenko has refused to implement a lockdown of the country of roughly 9.5 million people, reportedly suggesting that others have done so as an act of, quote, frenzy and psychosis, unquote, according to Sky News. As of Tuesday, and this is a few days old, 801,000 cases of coronavirus. They cite the number of deaths at the time. In an interview published Sunday in the Times newspaper of London, Lukashenko encouraged citizens to drink vodka unless they're working and visit the sauna at least twice a week to stay healthy. The World Health Organization has warned that drinking alcohol does not prevent people from contracting COVID-19, adding it should always be consumed in moderation.
But it sure is fun.
It can be. It can also be highly dangerous. So I agree with the moderation part.
Indeed.
But Matthias Karabasek, a Europe analyst at the Economic Intelligence Unit, called Belarus a complete outlier, saying Lukashenko is taking a big risk by, quote, refusing to accept the new reality of the coronavirus pandemic, unquote, warning the economic impact of the health crisis was already looking pretty grim for the relatively poor country. He suggested the president, who has ruled Belarus since 1994, so basically right after the Russian or the Soviet Union fell.
Breakup, right, yeah.
Was attempting to portray himself as a strongman leader ahead of the presidential elections in August. Sports leagues in the country have carried on as normal, with the 65-year-old Lukashenko himself taking part in an ice hockey match on Sunday. There was even photographs of what appeared to be a fairly decent crowd of people attending one of these matches.
More than 10, I assume.
Definitely. In the photo, there were far more than 10. Lukashenko's participation in the game was an attempt to show the public that they were, quote, all in this together, pointing out that Russian President Vladimir Putin has also previously taken part in hockey exhibition matches. So it does beg the question, if all these so-called experts are to be believed about how bad the coronavirus is and how dangerous it is, and I'm not saying people haven't died from it, okay?
Right.
People die from the flu every year. Tens of thousands in the United States
among
alone.
many other things.
Tens of millions are infected with the flu in the United States every year. But if it's true what they're saying, then shouldn't we see like a crazy ravaging of Belarus as far as like shooting up numbers, people getting infected, dying in the streets, left and right, just absolute horror, just a horror show, right? Because that's what they would have you believe.
Body bags and all that kind of thing, yeah.
So I'd like to know, why is that not happening? Because you can look at that chart or whatever. There's this website that Drudge Report links to where you can, look at the different little red spots all around the world and see. Belarus is
the heat map, I believe, is what it's called. Yeah,
Belarus is unremarkable on that list. So is it just, oh, well, it just hasn't gotten there yet? Well, there are cases there. Are people just self-quarantining on their own? Are they making their own choices in Belarus to self-quarantine without having some dictator tell them what to do?
For this specific thing, I would have to think so, because if folks are attending a sporting event in some sort of a stadium or arena or something along those lines, then, it seems like they're just choosing to do what they want to do.
And so, again, the dude may be an authoritarian, but in this particular case, he's less authoritarian than almost everyone else in the world.
Yeah.
So...
And it's crazy how there's so many different countries on the planet that all of them have basically the same response.
Yeah, basically.
To me, that's insane. The reason, you would think that the reason that people congregate in different areas is because they all have different preferences, different wants, different needs, different, methods of doing things, different cultures, all that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But if they're all acting the same, what's the point of even having governments?
Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts here. Mary is in DeLand, Florida, and listening, I'm not sure to what. Mary, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello. Thank you for accepting my call.
That's what we do.
I'd like to understand something. Okay, I have a friend who has a business, and every day they get up and they prepare food and they sell it, of course, because it's a restaurant, small restaurant.
Right.
And yet they've never been tested.
Okay.
Okay? So how come they can serve food and make food and everything and never been tested?
Great question.
Don't you?
I think they should be able to, don't you? It sounds like you're upset about this.
Well, I think that, hey, anybody that's serving should be like some kind of pin or something to let us know, or some kind of paper.
They've got to have their papers.
You got to get your papers.
Yeah.
So would you like to have them tested every day? Because they're also interacting likely with customers every single day, one of whom could be infected and could pass that infection to them. So what good would it be to test them Monday and then give them their little certification and then not test them again? If indeed you believe in this sort of testing regime, then you should believe that the testing needs to go on every single day.
Well, I really don't believe in it.
All right, I want to know what you believe. Hang on, Mary. We'll bring you back here if you want. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. All I hear from her is just fear talking, just like fear speaking. And that's what this is all based on. That's what they want you to do. They want you to be afraid, so you'll accept whatever ridiculous authoritarian measures they come up with next.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial in, toll free, bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies like the dollar in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at DivvyProject.org. That's DIVI project.org. We go back to Mary. She's in DeLand, Florida. Mary, you were...
Wait a minute.
Yes.
You got the impression that I am frustrated because today I went to pick up something. I got out of, I had curb service. I got out of my car to get some air, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just because the breeze was coming. And this lady comes running out that owns the restaurant. You got to get back in your car. You got to get back in your car, And, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm thinking to myself, I know somebody that serves food, and they really don't know if they have it or don't.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I just get out of my car to get some air, and boom,
So you were actually upset because of the enforcement of this business owner who wanted you to get in your car. Were you there to pick up an order? Was that the reason you were there?
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
And this is a friend of yours, or this is just some random person who runs a restaurant?
That was a random. I do have a friend that owns a business.
I see.
I happen to know both of the employees. Her and her employees, they don't have any tests. They don't have any proof that they don't have it,
Yeah.
And so it just doesn't make any sense.
I see what you're saying. So you feel like she was overreacting.
Oh, God, yes.
Will you be going back to that restaurant? Did you give her some feedback?
Absolutely no way.
Yeah.
No way. No way.
All right, Mary.
No,
I think
that
we
was
agree
just-
more than I realized. I appreciate your call. Thanks for
Yeah.
clarifying that for me tonight. Appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. But this is kind of a divide between people now. Those people who want to see every possible precaution taken that could possibly be taken must be taken. And then there's the other people who are like us. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, Captain Kickass, but you've been going to these events, so I figure you're kind of like me and like, can we just live normal, please?
I like my freedom.
Yeah.
I don't like, my social life has been reduced to, well, nothing really, except for these events, right?
Civil disobedience. You have to commit civil disobedience in order to be social.
I can't just wake up and be, oh, you know what? I want to go have a cocktail, or if I want to get like a brunch with a Bloody Mary, or something, I can't go and do. I can't meet people. I can't go see a movie. You know what I mean? Everything fun is closed. Literally.
Pretty much.
All of the fun is closed and not much else.
And when will it come back? And how many of them are going to stay in business?
I went grocery shopping today.
Okay, where'd you go?
I went to, first of all, I went to the liquor store because they've reduced their hours, unbeknownst to me. I tried to go early and they were closed, and so I went grocery shopping first, but after I went to the liquor store.
Mm-hmm.
When I got to the
state-run liquor store.
State-run liquor store. When I got to the liquor store, they had a queue of people outside.
Mm-hmm.
Outside. And there was
How many?
8 or 10, something like that. And they were all a good 6-10 feet away from each other. They had a person outside, an employee of the liquor store, sort of directing them in which way to, you guys got to curve around that way so you're not in the road and that kind of a thing. Please keep your distance from each other, et cetera, and so on. Inside, they had another employee sanitizing the shopping carts, right? And so they would allow one person at a time to come in, and they would hand them a cart if they needed one that was already sanitized. They
were doing that at Aldi as well.
They're all wearing the nitrite gloves, right? The surgical gloves, and all that kind of thing. None of the employees were wearing masks, but I would say between 30 and 50% of the customers were. And gloves,
I saw more masks today than
and all
previously.
that kind of thing. So I go to the liquor store, I get my booze because I ran out.
But before you go on with the story, I heard that Trump is now recommending that people wear masks, even though he himself has chosen not to, or something like that. So there's now supposedly some sort of federal government recommendation for people to wear masks. That may be why more people are wearing them.
What a huge illustration of the ridiculousness of government, right? I'm going to make rules for you, but not for me. Not for me. You guys all have to do that, but I don't.
I think it's a recommendation. I don't think it's a hard, firm rule because you can't even get the masks in a lot of cases.
If you're a leader, you lead by example.
That's true. If you are a leader.
And obviously, statists are not leaders. They are.
All right, so go on with the liquor store story.
Well, I was done with the liquor store, and I popped over to...
How long did it take you to get inside?
15 minutes or something.
Of waiting?
Yeah. I was, there was a good 6 people in front of me.
What the number of customers that were allowed in the store was at one given time?
They didn't. I didn't ask either because, I was just like, oh, God, really? This is a hassle. And
so this has started in other places. Walmart supposedly started doing it today. Target supposedly started doing this today as well.
Yeah.
Another store, which is a regional chain, a grocery store called Market Basket, also earlier this week started doing this where they're forcing people to wait outside. Now, it's warming up now, so it's the right time of year for this to have happened as far as it's not a deep freeze that people are now, being forced to stay out in. So at least there's that. Yeah. But when I think about, because I like going shopping, I don't mind. Like, I know there's these Instacart things and these, you can hire people to go shopping for you or whatever. And I can understand the benefit prior to this of like, it'll save you some time and you just have somebody else do this for you. I like going and picking things out. I like making those decisions. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me to go shopping at all. But if I have to wait in a line outside of the store, I'm not going.
Yeah. So that happened at the liquor store, and I got in and out of there. I actually bought more than I intended to because I was like, I really don't want to come back here anytime soon because of that. It did feel, my description of the environment, the people that I saw, and the way they were acting towards each other, I'm going to call this the dystopian spring. Because I feel that's what's going on. It's a very dystopian spring. It was a really nice day out. Otherwise, sunny and 50-ish, 52, something like that.
I hate what this has done to people and how they behave towards one another.
Yeah. And so I pop over to the grocery store. It's the Price Chopper here in Keene. And there was no queue. There was nobody outside, forcing people to wait to get in the store.
Good to know.
You just walk in and, it's like going in there every other time.
Any store that keeps that policy will get my business.
Yeah, the carts are in the right place. But again, the people, right? A lot of folks wearing masks, a lot of folks wearing gloves, a lot of folks, if they pass by you,
the customers
in the aisle, it pass by you in the aisle, kind of like shy away from you, like more so than they would just passing by.
And they look at you funny if you're like acting normal or whatever.
Or if you're standing too close to somebody else, they kind of give you the look, the up down, the checking you out, like, hey, buddy, kind of looks. So that went on.
Did they have the plexiglass up at any of these places?
Much to my surprise, the Price Chopper did already, almost overnight. I mean, I probably haven't been in there in like 5 days or something, maybe a week. But the plexiglass certainly was not there the last time I went in. So, and some of the employees,
they have that at Aldi too.
Some of the checkers are wearing the nitrate gloves now. So even the cashiers are wearing those because they have to handle cash and all that kind of stuff. And so, I mean, I guess the store is like, hey, you guys got to wear gloves, because I didn't see anybody not wearing gloves that was an employee. But they did. They put up the plexiglass. I'll call them sneeze guards, but they're not. They're, I don't know, maybe 5 foot wide even. They're pretty wide and pretty high up, right? So even like the tallest guy couldn't like accidentally sneeze.
And how are you supposed to hand this person cash if there's a big piece
around
of
the piece of plexiglass? So what you do is you put all your stuff on the counter, and the little belt conveyor, rolls it all towards them. They scan it all. You can see through the plexiglass. Somebody's going to have to clean that plexiglass like hourly or something, or whatever it is. And then there's a square at the end of the counter that you have to move to near the payment station and stand in this taped off square that's like, 3 foot by 3 foot, so that you're a proper distance away from the cashier.
It's madness. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Dystopian spring.
I'm telling you, man, this is so crazy. I don't want to live in this crazy world.
Feels
this
like
is
Blade
nuts.
Runner, man.
It's Free Talk Live. More coming up.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
Attention all radio listeners who still need food supplies. If you've thought about the implication of food-related supply chain disruptions and are concerned about the coming quarantines, this will be the most important message you will ever hear. Here's why. In the next few days, all Americans will face extremely hard choices. If we've learned anything from China and Italy, it's that quarantines and enforced lockdowns are just a few days away here in the U.S. Listen, while dehydrated food is becoming scarce, you can still get enough open pollinated heirloom seeds to grow a 1-acre crisis garden. The truth is, growing nutrient-dense vegetables in the days ahead may actually be the single most important thing you do. Go to survivalseedbank.com and watch the new video to understand the nature of the threat. This could be life-saving. Lockdowns can last from 6 to 8 weeks. Get free bonus seeds, special quarantine reports too. Go to survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com.
This is Fred.
Hi, I'm Fred.
Fred's a repeater.
I tend to repeat.
Fred has a business.
I do have a business.
And a problem. Fred repeats the same tired advertising over and over, and now it doesn't work.
Over and over.
But Fred is about to see a vision.
I'm seeing a vision.
Advertising on the Genesis Communications Network is the smart way for Fred to reach his potential customers with the most affordable national advertising rates, period. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just email advertise@gcnlive.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Yeah, it's Free Talk Live. We are here on this live Saturday edition of the program. As always, inviting you to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Reverend Captain Kickass.
I want to say thank you to David L.V., who is a Free Talk Live Silver Amplifier. That means that David is contributing $5 a month, even in these tough times. He's managing to do that, and we appreciate it, to help Free Talk Live get on new radio stations, bring new internet listeners on board, expose new people to the ideas of freedom, to the idea of being skeptical of what it is you're being told. That certainly needs to be propagated these days. And David, I definitely appreciate it. If you want to join the AMP program as David LV has done, you can do that over at amp.freetalklive.com. That's ampamp.freetalklive.com.
Many thanks, David.
Yep, PayPal, credit card, and Bitcoin BTC. You get some cool perks too. David LV, thank you. And again, go to ampamp.freetalklive.com. We go to your phone calls and thoughts. Kathy is in Johannesburg, Michigan? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it.
Johannesburg, like South America.
Thank
Johannesburg,
you.
like South America.
Welcome. You're on the air.
Thank you. God bless you for being patriots. I don't know where they all are, but I'm glad that you're on the radio there. I'm really looking to round up a bunch of people to go to Boston Harbor and dump a bunch of toilet paper in there. Just kidding. Anyway,
good luck
I'm a
finding
former
any.
school teacher, and I'm sitting here doing some math. Third grade, maybe it's second grade, I don't know now. If someone's already called in about this, I'll shut up. But I was trying to take the known items about this stuff and not just this particular virus, but other viruses. And so I started doing some math. And, we can't really count up all the number of cases of flu there are. I don't think anybody ever gets an accurate counting. I know personally of four people that have had it now, and their doctors told them stay home unless you get really sick, and they had what is the descriptive symptoms. All right, so
yeah, I mean, if I get the flu, I'm not going to report it to anybody. I'm just going to get over it.
Right. Sure.
Or I'm going to die.
So there's a ton more out there that have it. Okay, here are the facts. Okay, the fact is that for every given population on the planet, globally, country, state, city, whatever, you have a population that's pretty well accurately documented, and that I can say we can pretty much not dicker around with too much. And then they would have you believe they're all died off, though. And then we also have the fact of what they are reporting as the deaths due to a given illness, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So what I did was I take any given area, any named area, and I divided the number of deaths by its actual head count general population. Mm-hmm. And this gives you a percentage of the people in that population that have died from that cause.
Allegedly.
And I have, I have done. Yeah, well, that's your risk rate, isn't it?
Well, they're allegedly dying from this cause. That's what they're saying they're dying from, but we don't really even know how accurate that is. Anyway, go ahead. What did you find out?
Don't. Well, okay, so let's start with the U.S. corona. As of yesterday, we had 273,409 cases, and we had 7,064 deaths. So I divided that, and I came up with a percentage of deaths at 0.000216.
That's so many zeros. It's it's hard to even assign meaning to it.
That, all right, if you can read that, tens place, hundreds place, thousands place, 10,000 place. So it's 100,000th place. It would be 216 100,000th PHS of a percent.
So needless to say, you're not freaking out about this.
Oh, I don't even go to doctors of a rule. You know, when they have doctor strikes in Israel or any country, the death rates go down. I'm sorry. I love you doctors out there. You do wonderful things, but sometimes I think we over-doctor. Okay?
May I ask how old you are or thereabouts?
I'm 39 and counting towards 70 something. I'm 70 something.
Okay.
Anyway,
gotcha. It's interesting because we had a lady last week who is also up in her years who also was like not taking this seriously at all, and I'm with her and I'm with you on this, Kathy. Anything else you want to share?
Yeah. The Spanish flu deaths, woo, 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 woo. They even hyped things back then. We don't know the population that had it. We do know 675,000 people died. The population in the U.S. died, okay?
Right.
The population at that time was 92 million, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what the percentage of deaths were in this country from the Spanish flu?
No, but I bet you're going to tell us, Kathy.
Yes, 0.007. That would be 7,000ths of a percent.
Much larger than the current situation.
The coronavirus, right?
Oh, well, yeah, because most of them are running. New York State is running at 3 zeros in front of a 1. That's past the decimal. New York City is running at 3 zeros and then a 1. That's past the decimal. 3 zeros.
Yep.
Globally, it's 5 zeros with a 7, so it's 0.50, 7.5.
Yeah.
Michigan, where I live, is running at 4
and even
zeros
with these,
and a 4.
very small numbers, and the fact that other things in the past have been more deadly, there are other maladies on the planet that are more deadly. For whatever reason, now they've decided to implement this authoritarian wet dream. And thank you, Kathy. I appreciate hearing from you. And that does beg for some speculation as to why now. Why was it this time? Why wasn't it the H1N1 or the bird flu or the other things that had happened over the last 2 decades? Why now?
Well, and I don't want to use this word. I enjoyed the original reactions in the Seattle area before the governors and mayors and all these statist supposed leaders started mandating things, right? So we saw what happened in China. We saw the tyranny that the Chinese government put on their people, and then coronavirus hit the Seattle area. And before anything was mandated, the employers were recommending, those who could work at home, hey, go work at home. You know what I mean? They were voluntarily
taking precautions
for those whom they thought, might be at risk. And so I would have loved to have seen that continue to play out and see people take personal responsibility, make their own choices, let businesses, sort of determine their own course of action for whatever's correct for their particular business, right? And just see how that plays out. But no. We got to get power mongers who politicians
they know
politicians
what's best.
do. I'm going to mandate things because you must follow my orders or else.
How many people really believe that the politicians know best? I mean, would you normally think that? Would you normally believe these people?
And none of the politicians are like bringing in, subjective experts that don't have political leanings, right? They come out and they make the speeches themselves. They want all of this limelight. They want to bask in it because they think they're a celebrity when they're not.
We're going to continue here with Scott. He's in Farmington, New Mexico, listening to KENN. Go ahead, Scott.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, I had, first of all, thank you for the intelligent discussion going on. I haven't heard a lot of that. Most it's just gloom and doom. but I had 2 points to make. The first one is, it seems like to me this virus has probably been present in this country for literally months.
Mm-hmm.
During that time, I think folks had symptoms, and most of them pass it off as the flu or a cold.
And they survived it.
I was
And
talking to
as a
somebody
result-
the other day that, they had some symptoms. It seems like it was the symptoms of the coronavirus. They went to the doctor, they went to the hospital, and they tested them for the flu. And they were like, well, you don't have the flu, so it's probably just a respiratory infection. Go home, eat soup, get rest, all the regular stuff. And they recovered from it within a couple of weeks.
Exactly. The good thing is that those folks have developed antibodies. Now, once you develop the antibodies, then you're, I believe, immune, or you certainly are more immune than the rest of us. And to going back to a point a lady made on this program 15 minutes ago, she said she felt that restaurant people needed to be tested. And really what we need to do is test for antibodies, and then you get a certificate and go, man, I'm immune. I can do whatever I need to.
I would rather not have a system where people have to get tested and have to get certificates. That just sounds like an authoritarian regime to me, sir.
You must have your papers before you can serve the food.
I understand. But as you pointed out, they'd have to get tested every day.
Well, it turns out that's not what she was
one-time
actually
deal.
advocating. She was anyway, but go ahead.
Okay. No, I'm just saying if you're tested for antibodies, that's the gold standard. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
It does
And
make you
that could
wonder.
Get everyone back to work.
It does
Because
make
those
you
folks
wonder.
Are not going to probably get the disease, and they've already been through.
They're
it.
not going to get
And
this
I'll bet
one, but
there's
they
a lot
could
of
get a
it.
mutated version of it later.
Why do you think, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy, all the fast food places are allowed to remain open?
Well, they have less than 10 people, which is the federal mandate, or not mandate, but recommendation, and they're following the CDC guidelines and the local health department guidelines.
Scott, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. I'm not sure where you were going with that question, Captain. If you want to, we can continue with that.
Okay.
Coming up here, hour number 2 is next. And you can take control of the airwaves. Our number, 855-450-FREE. Which states are the so-called holdouts that haven't done a total crackdown? We'll tell you coming up.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,628. silver at $14.41, and Bitcoin is trading around $6,702. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/freekratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, according to a new report from the New York Times, Americans bought nearly 2 million guns last month as the country slowly went into lockdown. Activist Post reports it's the second highest sales numbers ever seen in the U.S. for firearms, surpassed only by the January after then U.S. President Barack Obama's re-election, which was also when the Sandy Hook shooting occurred. And while more guns were sold in January 2013, the numbers are actually extremely close, with roughly 2 million guns sold during each time period. The data used in the report from the Times was based on the number of background checks reported by the FBI. So it's likely that the actual numbers are even higher, because background checks are not required in every state. The FBI has been tracking monthly gun sales in the U.S. since 1998. This week, U.S. President Donald Trump included gun stores, shooting ranges, and firearm and ammunition manufacturers in a list of essential businesses that can remain open during the lockdown. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. There were dramatic scenes at an airport in Shanghai, China, as U.S. agents hijacked a plane full of life-saving equipment, including 60 million masks, bound for coronavirus-stricken France. While the plane was on the tarmac, American agents managed to bribe locals into diverting the plane to the United States, plying them with cash. MinPress News reports it appears to not be an isolated incident. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau revealed that he had received similar reports of goods being seized and taken to the United States. Brazil, one of the U.S.'s most loyal allies, also broke with convention to criticize the Trump administration's pandemic gangsterism. President Trump spent weeks claiming that the virus was a liberal hoax, intended to dent his credibility, then downplayed the seriousness of the problem, before changing tack and blaming China for the thousands of dead. Amidst a COVID-19 outbreak, around 100 detained migrants at a private for-profit prison in Farmville, Virginia, have collectively gone on hunger strike, demanding their release on medical and humane grounds. MinPress News reports that's according to Sanctuary DMV, a volunteer organization helping immigrants in the Washington, D.C. area. Phone lines to the dorms have been cut, and visits have been suspended. Inmates claim that one dorm is under strict quarantine. The move comes in response to the inaction of Attorney General William Barr. Detainees at ICA Farmville had sent him a letter March 25th pleading to be released, but they received no reply. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Odds are you've looked outside recently, you've noticed that all dogs everywhere are running. Scientists can't explain why all over the world dogs of every breed are running nonstop. I'm joined now by animal behavior expert Dr. Charles Davenport. Charles, what can you tell us?
All we know for sure is that the dogs are running fast.
But we don't know why the dogs are running?
There are a few reasons that dogs normally run: because they're excited or scared, or they see something they want far away, or because they're happy. However, usually they don't run at the same time or in the same direction.
Do we have any idea where the dogs are running?
West. All the dogs are running west.
Do we expect the dogs to ever stop running?
We don't know. Animal behavior can evolve over time. Maybe running forever is just what the dogs do now.
Dr. Davenport, is there any chance that the running dogs are somehow related to last night's blue meteor shower? Or the fact that horses are screaming?
Inconclusive.
Well, please keep us posted. Up next, where are all the children?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms. They are available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And the captain.
And we got a little bit of good news for you tonight. It's rare, especially these days, to have any good news. The little bit, well, it wasn't a good news that would really affect almost anyone in the world, except if you're in Belarus, because there, the so-called authoritarian president, and I don't deny that he probably is terrible in a lot of ways. Of course, he's a politician.
Right.
But when compared to other politicians today, he seems relatively freedom-oriented by comparison. Again, we're comparing evils here. But he's like, hey, go out, grab some vodka, go to the hockey game. I gotta say, I appreciate that perspective. He's not shutting things down. He's not issuing mandates and orders in this particular case.
Yeah.
So kudos to him for that.
Like the reaction that people have, I get that you don't want to die, right? But like,
sure, who wants to do that?
You also have to live, right? Living under,
or do you?
Well, I mean,
is it really living to be sucking air in a prison cell?
That's what I'm saying. There are qualities of life that make life worth living.
The fact that you can choose how to live in it?
Choice, for example, is the biggest one.
Right.
It's what makes life fun. You get to choose. You are ultimately responsible for what you choose to do with your life.
And if you choose wrong, there's punishments for that.
Absolutely, but
including death.
But you have to be free to make mistakes so you can learn from them and become better at what you want to be better at, right? Learn from your mistakes and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You have to be free to make those mistakes. You have to be free to be dumb.
Unfortunately, it is we've gotten into this place where the supposed value of one human life has been put on this pedestal of, we just got to restrict freedom so much just to save one life. If we, put up all the plexiglass, everybody stay away from one another, stay in your homes. No, you can't go down, sit at a restaurant with each other anymore. Whoa, we can't have that. Even and apparently some of these bureaucrats or politicians are recommending people stay 6 feet away from one another inside their own home as well. So the level of madness here is just shocking to me. And one of our co-hosts, Aria DeMezzo, wrote over on her new blog at the Reformed Satanic Church at reformedsatanicchurch.com a really interesting article about how this is just undermining human relationships.
Oh,
this so-called social distancing.
Yeah, as if people didn't have enough problem with personal relationships and even just public relationships, right? Like going out and interfacing with other carbon-based life forms. People would, people get into fights and all that kind of stuff. People, I don't like you. You look like somebody. I don't, they judge everybody and all their actions and what they look like and all that kind of stuff. And so people had enough problems with that already. Now you want to interject all these additional rules to drive them even more crazy. It's going to get dumber.
It's frustrating as hell. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. Keith is on the line in Napoleon, Michigan. Keith, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, thanks for your time.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I was calling. You had asked a question. Why do you think they have left McDonald's and these other fast food places open?
Yeah, the point I was trying to
have a suggestion.
The point I was trying to get at is that if all the other businesses where the employees have to stand very close to each other in order to conduct business have to close, right? And I'm talking about other restaurants, bars, that kind of a thing. Why is there an exception for fast food? And also, these people are handling your food. They're breathing on your food. And even if they're wearing masks and wearing gloves, which most of them aren't, human beings are human beings. They're going to make mistakes. So people are going to be breathing on you. So it doesn't seem to me like it seems like a double standard. That's the point I was trying to make earlier.
It is. I think that you're exactly right. They're not taking extra precautions. They're not changing their gloves while they're handling your cash, making your food, coughing or sneezing on it, who knows what. If you go into the local grocery stores here in our area in Michigan, they're virtually all empty. So I think them allowing someone to run up to McDonald's gives them some sense of normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
I personally wouldn't do it. I don't want anyone who's potentially sick making my food or my family's food. But I think that if they weren't allowed that sense of normalcy, there'd be more of a sense of panic regards to the stores are so empty. In our society, how many people actually know how to make their own food? Let's face it.
Yeah. So you're saying that they're given the exception as sort of a pacifier?
Yes, I think so.
That's an interesting theory. Now, Captain, I don't think that restaurants and bars in most places are closed or forced to close. They are allowed to do takeout and delivery if that's something that they want to do.
A curbside, yeah.
Right. But they're closed in the fact that, most of those restaurants, how many employees are they going to have in their kitchen to
Not
do
many.
that? And
how many? That's it.
If we're talking about chain stores like, like Applebee's or something like that, someplace with a bar in it, that's where they're making their money, was at the bar.
The drinks.
Yeah. The food was a side thought, and they would offer, to-go orders as a courtesy.
Well, they're still there. Applebee's has signs up in their windows trying to attract
and
people.
The chains are going to last longer. It's the moms and pops right now. Right, the one man, or family-owned businesses.
But my point was, they are allowed to be open in all the states that I've heard of so far. It's just that you can't sit and eat. You can't go up to the bar and order a drink. You can only go in, order the food, and walk out with the food.
Right,
that's it.
But other things like the movie theaters we were talking about, right? Closed.
Well, yeah, they're considered non-essential.
I feel you're exactly right. I think it is a double standard. I feel like if they were forced to do a thermal forehead scan to see their blood temperature, make sure they don't have a low-grade fever, if they were forced to change their gloves in between interactions, as well as wear a face mask, I think it would be not such a double standard. I think it goes back to, dubbed your term, the pacifier effect. I think it does allow a sense of normalcy. Just imagine if they could only get their food from the grocery stores. I think the grocery stores would be more overran than they are now.
That's probably true.
I'll bet if you were to somehow measure how much food the fast food places are distributing, I don't think my local grocery stores here are just about empty. When you go in, there's very little to select from.
Wow. That was not my experience today in Keene, New Hampshire, but we're in completely different places. So, hey, thanks for the feedback, Keith. I appreciate your opinions. Although I don't subscribe to the, don't eat out kind of thing. I'm actually eating out more often now.
To try and help some of the businesses that you frequent.
I can afford to do it.
Want to stay open through this whole crap.
Right, and I can afford to do it. So I'm going out there more often now because I do want to see these businesses succeed. I want to see them stay open after all this gets done with. Their employees, they're able to bring something home because of this, because these folks are still open. And I think it's going to be an absolute devastation to the restaurant industry when this is all said and done. Already, you've got several restaurants that are choosing to close on their own volition. So again, they're allowed to do takeout and delivery. But I was talking with Ed from Little Zoe's today, which is a local pizza shop here that if you've ever been to the Porcupine Freedom Festival in the last few years, you've probably had their pizza, and it's fantastic. They take cryptocurrency, and they're really cool folks. And I was asking him, because he mentioned that there's some of his competition is closed, and I said, well, who's closed? And so one of the Main Street pizza places has closed down, Amici's, which does New York style pizza, and then there was a company that the people that had owned Amici's they sold Amici's, but they started another pizza place called Brickhouse Pizza.
Oh yeah,
that's closed too. And the reason why was because when they sold Amici's off, for whatever reason, the deal contained a clause where they had to agree that at their new business they wouldn't do delivery.
Oh, no.
So because of the contract that they had when they sold their business.
That's horrible.
Because the other place is closed, they can't do delivery over there either, and it's like they have to close their business because takeout's not enough.
Right,
It's not
yeah.
good enough to just do takeout.
Well, and I imagine that's why these other restaurants are closing, right? Because takeout's just not enough.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
they could do delivery. DoorDash is around. There's these other, Uber Eats and these other kind of decentralized delivery systems or semi-decentralized delivery systems.
If I remember correctly, Brickhouse has a bar in it.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's where where their profit is.
There's a good chance of it. And that's the other thing about running a restaurant, and I've never run one, but I've known people who have, and there's not a lot of money as far as, it's a real short margin as far as what you're
Very
making.
slim.
And that's why, you see a lot of them go out of business their first year, and
Right.
the rest of them go out of business within the first 5. And so how many of them are we going to see survive this in any given town? It's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
855-450 free like freedom. You join us on Free Talk Live. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
During a curt Skype session earlier this afternoon, local Williamsburg resident 29-year-old Cormac Flanagan reminded his mother to, quote, try and be more careful after she forgot to pay his cell phone bill.
Mom, the phone company called today about my cell phone bill.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot.
No, Mom, I'm not mad, but you had to stay on top of these things, you know.
I know,
You can't keep waiting until the last minute like this. Well, I don't want to have to keep reminding you every month. You know, I need my phone. I use it every day. I need my phone. I'm constantly using
I'm
it.
so bad. I'm really sorry. I'll get on it today.
All right, you know, just so you know, this really easy thing you can do. You know, there's this online auto pay. It just deducts from your bank account every month.
Yeah,
Quite
yeah.
easy.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
It's fine.
I know how to
It's
do
fine.
it.
It's fine. It's fine. Just don't let it become a pattern. You know, I know you can do better than this.
Okay. I promise. I'll get on it today. Okay.
This is the Onion News Network.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You bring up what you want. Take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms at discord.lrn.fm. You hop into one of those rooms, you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. It's Ian.
And the captain.
Bitcoin.com, great place to go to get started learning about cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash because, well, I would say it's more important now than it's ever been, especially if you're somebody who's like really into this whole touchless thing because now, some people don't want to pay with cash and they don't, credit card machines, you're still touching the same thing everybody else has touched.
Yep.
So cryptocurrency payments are touchless.
They are.
And that's a major selling point for Bitcoin. But also, more importantly, at least from my perspective, given the American government is now going to be printing out another $2.2 trillion.
Yeah, and more.
And there's talk about another $2.2 trillion
unlimited
coming.
QE.
Yeah. They're going to print out a bunch of money, which means that likely you're going to see the value of the dollar drop over time. And so you may want to consider getting into some alternatives like precious metals or cryptocurrency. And so why not get started while you got some extra time on your hands? Because usually the excuse is, oh, I don't have time to learn about that. And then, 5 years later, usually the person's like, crap, I wish I'd have spent time and learned about that. Well, now's your chance. You go to bitcoin.com, get started on the road to learning about cryptocurrency today at bitcoin.com. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. We got Matthew. He's in Louisiana watching us on YouTube. Go ahead, Matthew.
So this call is based on information I got from a couple of YouTube channels, Matt Christensen and Dave Cullen, and from the Gateway Pundit. What if we're being buffaloed?
What does that mean?
By this, in other words, the lethality of this coronavirus is nowhere near what these modelers are projecting.
Meaning that it will not be as high as they are projecting?
Yes.
Okay.
They're already projecting far more deaths that have supposed to have occurred already than actually are occurring. And then you hear from Italy, the epicenter of, you just land in Italy, you die instantly of coronavirus. And it turns out that a lot of people are dying of other things, and they're just kind of like, they had coronavirus, therefore coronavirus killed them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you have coronavirus and you get hit by a bus, what killed you? The coronavirus, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, they're really pumping up these numbers, and of course they're going to pump up the estimates because they want people to be afraid. They want people to buy this narrative.
I'm curious what the caller thinks the end game is here, though. So let's just say you're correct.
Here's the next question. What if they are buffaloing Donald Trump, then what does that mean? I didn't elect Dr. Fauci. I didn't elect Dr. Birx. Why is he listening to these people? And if he is being buffaloed, what does this mean in November? Do we vote for the dupe or do we vote for Jill Biden?
Well, it's going to be an absolute political football of an issue. They're going to use this, and they already are to some extent, but it's going to get even worse as if, presuming the severity of this insanity dies down a little bit between now and November, as the obsession over this, reaction dies down, the rumblings about the election are going to start ramping up again, because that's what it was right before this happened, right? Mm-hmm. It was Super Tuesday. It was the primaries.
There's also a third question. Hydroxychloroquine is largely credited for being the most effective treatment for this possible, and yet there seems to be a news media blackout on this medication. And there's others coming down the pipeline that nobody wants to talk about. What's going on with that?
Good questions, Matthew. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us tonight. Appreciate it. Let's go to Tom. He's in Hudson, New Hampshire. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Captain Kickass.
Yeah, well, some people who, have got a lot of other stuff on their minds will be glad that I pointed out. If you're brand new to unemployment, first of all, you got to file your claim every week to tell them that you were out of work for the previous week in order to keep your check.
That's
Here
true.
in New Hampshire, the deadline is midnight on Saturday nights. But with all the terrible stuff going on with hospitals being overloaded and healthcare staff don't have the protective equipment that they need, and businesses being shut down and the economy is tanking, I wanted to share some good news, something to help cheer people up and make people happy.
You just saved a load of money on your car insurance by switching to Geico?
They are not a sponsor, by the way.
On April 2nd, a Vidalia, Louisiana police officer,
I knew this was coming.
Wayne Bates, died of COVID-19. Detroit Police Captain Jonathan Parnell died March 25th, 2020, of COVID-19. A D.C. Corrections officer, Kenneth Moore, died on April 1st of COVID-19. 2 Riverside County deputies in California have died.
All right, I get the point.
Of COVID-19.
I don't revel in other people's demise. Thank you for the call tonight, Tom.
I'm not going to celebrate that.
Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. I understand his point. The police are the authoritarian tip of the spear.
They're the muscle, of course.
They are the ones who are going to, go out, as we mentioned earlier tonight, arrest a guy for paddling his, paddleboard out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean or wherever. And so, there's no doubt I'm a critic of police abuse and violence, but I still don't wish death upon them. I really don't. Yeah. I don't shed any tears when it happens or anything like that.
What I wish would happen, what the virus that I'd like to see the police infected with is the one of freedom and liberty.
Yeah, some common sense where they actually leave people alone if they're not harming others. That'd be wonderful. Let's go to John. He's in Dover, Delaware, listening to WDOV. Hello, John.
Yeah, hello, guys. Hey. Yeah, I'd like to agree with not the last caller, because I don't know what that guy was talking about, but the caller before that called in was really paying attention to what's going on. If you just open your eyes for a minute and you pay attention to what's going on around you, you're going to start to see that this is just another weapon in the arsenal of the Democrats to try and beat the great Donald J. Trump. They've been at it since he got elected, and this is just another tool, obviously, to go after this guy. What are we supposed to do on Election Day? Are we going to feel distant?
I can tell you for what I would do on Election Day, that is anything else except participate in the weaponized popularity contest that the election is.
Well,
I don't need a leader.
You guys say that continuously, but you guys aren't going to change the government. The federal government doesn't exist regardless.
No, Captain Kickass says that, John, not me. I don't say that. I go out and I participate, even though I understand that it's pointless at the federal level. I still will vote locally in local elections.
Yeah, I'm just worried that they're going to cheat in this election, because they cheated everything else, and everything that's working out the way it's working out right now around this virus is to benefit them. It's
Why
ridiculous.
is it that you think this is only the Democrats doing, John? There's plenty of Republican governors
No,
across the
I
United
didn't say
States.
only the Democrats. They are the noticeable evil. I'm not that there's Republican politicians that aren't just as if more crooked. I'm saying Donald J. Trump stands alone in this.
Well, he's not doing anybody any favors if you care about freedom.
He's a buffoon.
Trump is up there putting in, mandates just like everybody else is.
All his fans are Trumpansies.
Could he be worse? He could be. Would Hillary Clinton be worse in this circumstance? Probably. I'll give you that. But, we're again comparing evils here. There's more coming up. Thanks for the call, John. More on the way. This is Free Talk Live.
So now I've got this pack of 4 Shar-Pei rescue dogs. Jimmy, Coco, another Shar-Pei, 1 pug who is Joe. I have stuck with the Dinovite for, oh my goodness, probably 5-6 years. DINOVITE.com. People remark on really how well my dogs look, what beautiful coats they've got. I tell them, yep, they get a regular diet of Dinovite with every meal.
Dinovite is nutrition.
All I have to do is say dog food. It's a pandemonium. They can be half asleep and they're up and thrilled.
She just looks that whole squeaky clean.
You don't need to wait until a problem presents itself. It's far better to keep the dog happy and healthy at all times.
Dynovite for life.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
People do ask how they get Dynovite. I tell them I get my Dynovite from DINOVITE.com.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love, and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition, allowing you, of course, to bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Here tonight, it's Ian.
And I am the Reverend Captain Kickass.
Have you heard of Intercoin? Intercoin is working to make cryptocurrency go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. If you missed your opportunity to get in on Bitcoin from the start, then here's your chance to join what might be the next revolution in money. Check out intercoin.org, and if you like what you see, you can pick up some of those coins for yourself. Just as the internet is a global network that connects local networks, Intercoin is a global currency platform that enables communities around the world to issue and manage their own currency so they may circulate it among their local population. Intercoin enables fintech innovation on the local community level, leading to stronger communities, greater sustainability, less poverty, and more productivity. Check out intercoin.org. That's Intercoin.org. Our listeners must know Free Talk Live received $40,000 worth of tokens from Intercoin Incorporated for this advertising.
Hey, speaking of innovation, I noticed some Free Talk Live innovation that happened recently.
Really?
Yeah, that was the Jazzy Cam has been modified now to be sort of the overhead cam.
Jazzy has been on vacation for a couple of weeks.
So. I'm just saying, I like the use of that.
It's a good shot.
It's a good shot. It makes the show, it gives it a different look for those watching our video streams on DLive and Twitch.
Yep. Which you can do over at dlive.lrn.fm and twitch.lrn.fm. So we go, and coming up, by the way, I've got the list of states. In a very huffy New York Times article, they're mad that these states haven't completely cracked down out of the 50 states. Which ones have not done a total crackdown?
Are they clamoring?
The New York Times is definitely clamoring for more crackdowns. We'll tell you more about that. What are the holdout states? You may be in one of them right now. You're welcome to call and share, what is life like where you're at. We'll give you that list coming up here in a moment. But let's talk first to David. He's in Jackson, Michigan, listening to WKHM. Hello, David.
Hi.
Hey, you're on the air.
I was just going to make a comment about this Governor Cuomo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think he is just burying us with BS every time he's on the air.
Really?
He starts out today.
You are correct.
And he says 2/3 of the people in the hospital have been released. They've recovered from the coronavirus and they're released.
Okay.
Then he says New York has 30,000 of the nation's 65,000 corona cases. 285 have died, but the state is still calling for tens of thousands of more ventilators.
What'll really blow
Where
your
are they
mind?
gonna put 'em?
What'll really blow your mind?
Where are they going to put them? The biggest hospital they have there, I looked it up, their biggest one there in Bellevue, I think it is, 1,200 beds.
Yeah. What's really going to blow your mind is one day when you realize that whenever a politician speaks, they are spewing BS. Every one of them, all of the time.
You got that right. You got that right.
Yeah.
They built those temporary hospitals out in a soccer field. 4 of the units, each one holds 250 patients, so they've got 1,000 patient capability there. They showed those totally empty, except 3 people are in there.
Huh.
The comfort ship out on the at the dock there. Of course,
yeah.
they made a mistake and got some wrong people out there. 1,000 bed capacity there. There's 20 people there.
Yeah, I forget what show I was listening to, but I was listening to something the other day, and they said they went and did spot checks at like 2 or 3 New York hospitals, and there was almost nobody there.
Huh.
There you go. And then
what is
there's
that all
still
about?
the
What do you think
400.
that means?
I don't know. I don't understand why he is doing all this every day. Number one, I wish they'd take him off the air. I don't care what's happening in New York. Why does he have to be on nationwide TV spewing his stuff about New York?
Right.
I'm in Michigan. I don't care about New York.
Yeah, there's a reason we don't live in New York, because it sucks.
There you go.
Hey, David. Thank you for the call tonight, man. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. I mean, to give the answer for why they're paying so much attention to New York is because, well, it's the hot spot, right? It's where all the infections are concentrated, or a lot of it is concentrated.
And also a large population.
And a large population, and a very authoritarian governor who, is the governor of the 50th least free state in the United States, and by a long distance from 49, by the way.
Yeah,
it's not a close case between 49 and 50.
Impressive is the wrong word, but it
is a distance, yeah. And so, it is to some extent like watching a train wreck. People want to see that. Even though it's horrifying and terrible, people will slow down. They will watch terrible, horrifying things. And that's what gets news coverage ratings, and that's what gets them advertisers.
I keep saying this, and I'll say it again. Human beings, we do some really cool stuff, right? We can think, we can do logic, we have opposable thumbs, so we can make tools and build stuff and invent things. But really, human beings are barely not apes, right?
It's true.
We're just a little more. We have a higher intellectual capacity than the rest of the apes on the planet.
Yeah, we're a little less furry.
And so if you begin to treat people, or at least look at people with those glasses on, all of this sort of makes a lot more sense.
Sure does. Let's go to Jordan in Chattanooga, Tennessee, listening to WGOW. Go ahead, Jordan.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, you're on the air.
Yes. Speaking of the whole coronavirus deal, here in Tennessee, they did the stay-at-home order the other day, and basically here it's no different, than how it was before. It's just everything's takeout. That's about the only difference. And most of the sheriffs in the 95 counties have already came out and said that they're not going to be, pulling people over to look for papers and all that stuff. They're not going to be doing any of that.
Okay.
So they say now.
That's what they're saying now. But wait, when you say it's not that different, most of these stay-at-home orders, at least the one here in New Hampshire, orders people to not go to work, orders people who have businesses that are so-called non-essential, which I find insulting that they even have that.
Yeah, why are politicians deciding who's essential?
But the supposed non-essential businesses aren't allowed to operate. They're not allowed to have even their employees come in to try to work. So, I mean, are you saying that's not happening in Tennessee, meaning that all businesses are still allowed to operate?
No, I mean, well, the non-essential businesses, yes, they've had to close, but I'm saying like the restaurants and stuff.
Okay. Well, then that's a huge change, because you made it sound like it was no big deal, that not much had changed. But that's a huge change, telling businesses they can't operate.
Right. But I did some research yesterday, and it said that they keep talking about here in Tennessee the 3,000 or 4,000 people that had tested positive, but you go online and you can actually go on tn.gov, which is the state website, and it'll show how many people that they tested. Well, yes, there have been 4,000 people that tested positive. Of course, it might change today. While I looked at yesterday, it said it was 4,000, and they had tested 40,000. So that means only 10% of people are even testing positive, which, I mean, you won't hear them talk about that. To me, that's a great thing.
Yeah, no, they don't ever talk about the perspective on the numbers. They just pump up the numbers as big as they can, advertise it as big as they can, shout out loud about as though it's so scary and so bad, and oh my God, look, here's an infant who died. Oh, here's some old people who already had morbidity conditions and they died too. It's so terrifying. Well, and it's like ridiculous.
If you look at it from the perspective of where does the incentive come from? The media has incentive to sensationalize this because if it bleeds, it leads. The politicians also have an incentive to sensationalize all of this because they want power. They want the power, and they want the public perception to be a specific way about them.
For example, at a Coca-Cola facility down in Atlanta, I mainly haul Coca-Cola products. So, thank the good Lord, I'm still able to work.
Right.
But anyways, I was down there at a Coke facility in the Atlanta area, and I overheard one guy saying basically like they should lock the whole country down for 3 months. And I asked him, I said, so you mean to tell me you're wanting martial law?
What did he say?
He's like, well, they'll prevent people from getting infected. I said, well, the giant majority of people that are actually dying from this are people over the age of 60 or people that already have autoimmune deficiency. I mean, healthy people are coming out fine.
Oh, but if it just saves one life, we need martial law. It's crazy. Jordan, thanks for sharing that, and drive safe out there.
What happened to the rebellious attitude, man?
It's been crushed by government education, in my opinion. 855-450 free. You can join us on Free Talk Live.
Now with orders to stay at home, public health concerns, the reality of illness due to pathogens and viruses. Your health is at an all-time high risk. That's why it's critical to take a proactive approach to boost your immune system. You can with new nano-colloidal silver from Americare. Our patented process with tiny silver particles, 1/100th the size of a red blood cell, allows for maximum body absorption. Americare's nano-colloidal silver effectively disinfects your body internally, attacking pathogens and viruses while supercharging your immune system. Colloidal silver is antibacterial and antiviral. Simply put, it prohibits bacterial respiration, suffocating viral cells, preventing the virus from replicating. And now, due to public health concern, Americare is authorized to offer our lowest and best price ever, around $1 a day, but supplies are limited. Purchase nano-colloidal silver now at immunesupportnow.com. That's immunesupportnow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Supplies are limited.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes. See Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our made in the USA microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part? Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're open and available to you. Although it would help if I looked at them. There they are. You can join over at discord.lrn.fm, and we will get you in there, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here with us.
This is a professional operation, darn it.
It's true. Barely. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And the captain.
Also, you can join us online. Go to freetalklive.com. Please enjoy the various features that we have there for you. Free Talk Live has an email list you can sign up for over at freetalklive.com. You'll find the email sign-up box there. On the front page of the site, it's basically a once-a-week kind of an email thing. And we'll kind of keep you in the loop with what's going on with Free Talk Live. Do it the old-fashioned way. Follow us on email at Free Talk Live.
Email's old-fashioned. I'm so old.
Yeah. We go on here, and, well, you know what? Email is old-fashioned, but it's reliable, and it works to get a message directly to somebody.
That's what they said about the post office.
And, well, that's a whole other story right now. The post office is in, of course, tough economic times prior to the coronavirus. Now, apparently, there's some headlines claiming that they could be out of so-called business by June unless they get a bailout from the federal government, which you know they will. So it's like, you don't have to worry that they're going to go anywhere. It's not like they're going to fold up shop and not get a bailout from the feds.
Well,
totally going to get
one. They prohibit the other carriers, FedEx, UPS, and those types of folks from carrying letters.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They prohibit them from carrying what's called first-class mail.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And so you can bring up whatever you want. We continue with your thoughts. Let's talk to Pat. He's in Thunder Bay, Michigan. Pat, you're listening to, let's see, where are you? Oh, is it TZB? I'll have to go look at the call letters.
No, I think it's WBKB, guys.
Okay, very good.
Oh, nice.
Or no, WZKB, excuse me.
Okay.
I think it's ZTK. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I'm calling in on the theory of herd immunity. And I can tell you a story that I heard years and years ago that lends a lot of credence to this.
Mm-hmm.
It was a few years after the AIDS epidemic had broken out. And there was this cat from San Francisco, and he was gay, but he'd already buried 2 or 3 lovers. So he's telling these scientists, he's like, you guys ought to be studying my blood. There's something strange, right?
Okay.
Well, it turns out this fella was all of old European ancestry. So it got me to thinking. In my lifetime, about every 20 years, there's some severe disease that goes around.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my ancestry, I'm all of European ancestry, too. So my people survived the Black Plague, smallpox, Lord knows how many other, you know. And so if you do the history of 1,000 years, say we get one of these things every 20 years or so,
mm-hmm.
that means my ancestors have survived approximately, 50 of these things in the last 1,000 years?
Okay.
Maybe you can add another 0. I'm not sure if I'm doing the math right in my head right now.
Sure.
But my point is that the more assaults your immune system survives, the herd immunity grows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a fact. And, it's weird that you bring that up because I was thinking about that particular fact and also the fact that that's how cryptocurrencies sort of work. Right. So your body works in that same way. The more you're attacked, the stronger your immune system gets. And the more cryptocurrencies are attacked, the stronger they get. And so it's interesting that a decentralized currency mimics the human biology.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing. Now, Pat, with regards to your comments about the so-called herd immunity, now you're saying basically that it's not a bad thing for people to just go out, get their business done, get out there, live their lives, and if they contract this thing, then they're actually going to be better off if they survive it in the long run.
And his history is spot on. This does happen on a regular basis, and it's part of the normal course of being an animal on this planet.
Right, so trying to avoid it is an exercise in futility.
Mm-hmm.
If you live your life in a bubble and you don't get dirty now and then, you're not going to be exposed to anything, and you're going to be susceptible to everything.
Great points.
It's just common sense.
Thank you, Pat. Apparently common sense is out the window. I appreciate hearing from you. Toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. And it comes back around to what we were talking about before. It's like, why now? Why all of a sudden? Is it this super restrictive, authoritarian?
We didn't see plexiglass for the swine flu. Yeah. We didn't see it for the H1N1. We didn't see it for, any of the other bugs that came around that they were all trying to scare us about.
Yeah, so why now? I mean, is it part of some grandiose plan by the world elites, the Bilderbergers, to finally roll out,
it's got to be because of the election year. But I don't. Why is it going on around the world, right? Like, why are?
And they're all doing the same thing.
Every one of them, exactly the same thing.
It leads to credence to longtime conspiracy theorists who've been predicting
globalists.
I guess they would believe that this would result in a world government, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that the government guys that are there now want to give up their power, and in order to have a global government, they would have to give up power.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to see that happen. But effectively, we are seeing insane levels of authoritarian statism, obedience, and indoctrination going on.
I have to say that I used to be a statist.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I was under the full fog of statism, and I leaned probably to the right, I guess. Right,
okay.
I was, this is the greatest country that there ever was, and it's still the best deal we got going, and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, well, yeah, but at least we're still free to, I don't know, barbecue and watch football and blah blah blah. Right. So I used to be there, and I get like where people who are there come from. I just wish it wasn't that way. I wish people would just wake up to the ridiculousness of...
Apparently it's not ridiculous enough for them yet, Captain Kickass.
I thought that at some point, America meant people... It was a country full of people who believed in freedom, right? America the free, home of the brave.
I believe that,
Are you
too.
seeing anybody free or brave today?
No, not very many. No. I'm seeing a lot of obedience, and I'm seeing a lot of begging, and I'm seeing snitching too. By the way, we didn't cover any of the snitching stories yet tonight, but I had a couple of those as well about various different snitch services, snitch lines being set up, and I find that to be very disturbing. I found snitching to be disturbing prior to this, but now it's of course even more widespread. Now people are even more likely to do it because they're afraid. Yeah. We go to Robert. He's in Charleston, South Carolina. You're on Free Talk Live, listening to WTMA.
I heard you.
Yes, sir.
Hi, good evening. I heard you talking about New York City, so I couldn't resist the opportunity to call in and let you know that I grew up in New York, and my family originally came from Europe.
Explains a lot about you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you have to grow up there yourself in order to really understand what New York is like. I mean, from New York City, you could travel to just about any corner of the earth with a direct or nonstop flight, even. And when I was little, we had the Empire State Building there, which is 104 stories high, and from that, if you go to the top, you can see way out into New Jersey and way out into Long Island and north and south, and some of the most amazing people in the world live in New York. And
I mean, anybody who's been up to a top of a mountain can see in different directions, so that doesn't make that special.
Well, that building is pretty special if you think about it. I mean, it has towers on top of it, transmitter towers for the TV stations.
Wow, they got a tower up there. Okay, like on a bunch of other buildings.
It's not particularly tall, but and they don't use it these days very much for TV.
Let me tell you, I'm not impressed by the New York Empire State Building. I was there last year for the Talkers Conference. Mark and I went and walked by it. And it's like, oh, do you want to pay $40 so you can go up and look around? Well, I can just hike the mountain here in the Keene area, and that's free.
I'm curious what the caller's point is. I mean, yes, New York is an interesting city. It's scenic in ways. The Empire State Building is sort of a marvel. But what's the point of your call?
How about 153 museums in New York? That's quite a few.
Boring. Sorry. Find that so uninteresting. Okay. What is the point of your call, though, is the question. Not about what are, some of your favorite parts about New York City.
I would say the cultural aspect is the most important thing.
What's that mean?
You can meet, for example, when I was little, I was interested in foreign countries and learning foreign languages, and you can meet native speakers from just about every corner of the earth.
That's true.
And also when it comes to influence, if the United States used its influence just from New York City, it would have influence in every corner of the earth. And you would be shocked. In the New York City metropolitan area, you can find people who are the sons and daughters of dictators and heads of state of every government on the face of this earth.
Sounds like a good reason to keep out. Thanks for the call tonight. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. That stuff doesn't impress me. I don't care if you're the son of some dictator. That doesn't mean jack to me.
I still don't understand the point of his call other than to describe how
filleting New York City. That's all.
Like, okay, thanks.
He's a statist.
I guess called in Free before. Talk Live, but
that guy's called in before. He calls almost every weekend, and he always fillets the state. Basically, that's what he does. Okay. Oh, he went to Germany. He lived in Germany. He loved how the police did things over there. The police were so nice to him. Blah 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 blah. So of course he loves New York City. It's a statist stronghold.
Sure is.
855-450-FREE, like freedom. Hour number 3 coming up.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now's your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,628, silver at $14.41, and Bitcoin is trading around $6,702. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, according to a new report from the New York Times, Americans bought nearly 2 million guns last month as the country slowly went into lockdown. Activist Post reports it's the second highest sales numbers ever seen in the U.S. for firearms, surpassed only by the January after then U.S. President Barack Obama's re-election, which was also when the Sandy Hook shooting occurred. And while more guns were sold in January 2013, the numbers are actually extremely close, with roughly 2 million guns sold during each time period. The data used in the report from the Times was based on the number of background checks reported by the FBI. So it's likely that the actual numbers are even higher, because background checks are not required in every state. The FBI has been tracking monthly gun sales in the U.S. since 1998. This week, U.S. President Donald Trump included gun stores, shooting ranges, and firearm and ammunition manufacturers in a list of essential businesses that can remain open during the lockdown. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. There were dramatic scenes at an airport in Shanghai, China, as U.S. agents hijacked a plane full of life-saving equipment, including 60 million masks, bound for coronavirus-stricken France. While the plane was on the tarmac, American agents managed to bribe locals into diverting the plane to the United States, plying them with cash. Minpress News reports it appears to not be an isolated incident. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau revealed that he had received similar reports of goods being seized and taken to the United States. Brazil, one of the U.S.'s most loyal allies, also broke with convention to criticize the Trump administration's pandemic gangsterism. President Trump spent weeks claiming that the virus was a liberal hoax intended to dent his credibility, then downplayed the seriousness of the problem, before changing tack and blaming China for the thousands of dead. Amidst a COVID-19 outbreak, around 100 detained migrants at a private for-profit prison in Farmville, Virginia, have collectively gone on hunger strike, demanding their release on medical and humane grounds. Minpress News reports that's according to Sanctuary DMV, a volunteer organization helping immigrants in the Washington, D.C. area. Phone lines to the dorms have been cut, and visits have been suspended. Inmates claim that one dorm is under strict quarantine. The move comes in response to the inaction of Attorney General William Barr. Detainees at ICA Farmville had sent him a letter March 25th pleading to be released, but they received no reply. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
In addition to creating a Twitter account, Pope Benedict XVI plans to further connect with Christian youth by giving up on Catholicism. Quote, in order to really relate to modern teens, he needs to make religion a much smaller part of his busy life, just like they do. And it's already working. Tweets like, can someone go to church for me, LOL, hashtag sleeping in, have been retweeted over 1 million times by lazy Catholic teens, while tweets like, if God was real, how come there's so much murder, and I'm still Catholic, I just don't go to church or believe in Jesus, have been especially successful with college students who are questioning the church's teaching.
It's really cool to see that the Pope is as active on social media and as skeptical about God as I am. Look, he just tweeted, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. That's totally how I feel.
Pope Benedict's aides say his next project involves reaching out to Muslims by sitting down with Islamic leaders and proclaiming his undying allegiance to Allah.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. It's Free Talk Live, launching into the third hour of the program. You can dial toll-free to join us here. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And I am the Reverend Captain Kickass.
Earlier in the show tonight, we covered the president of Belarus, who is basically taking a completely different stance than a lot of other places. Although the guy in Brazil has been pretty decent on what he said as well, although I don't think the rest of the government's going along with him.
And Sweden had a different take, too, but they're sort of coming around.
They're slowly... Sweden's got some more voluntary compliance things in than some of the other surrounding places. And but Belarus, the so-called authoritarian president, who no doubt he is, right now seems like he cares more about freedom than a lot of other places, because he's like, yeah, grab some vodka, go to a sporting event. Who cares? You're going to die anyway, so just go for it. And I thought that was interesting. But I've been asking on the air, like, what states in the United States are the freest right now as far as how they're handling this.
Right.
Not overall freedom, because, you know, New Hampshire wins on overall freedom when they do the studies in a lot of cases. Florida, surprisingly, seems to do fairly well as well. But I mean specifically freedoms that have been taken away in the last month, because New Hampshire is not doing very well. There has been a fair amount of orders. The governor in New Hampshire has issued 25 orders so far, so-called emergency executive orders, wherein he is referred to as His Excellency. No joke.
That makes me so sick, dude.
Well, it's really just a
guy.
clue, right? Like, hey, this is how these guys think. This is your king, basically. Oh, well, we elected him. Well, he's acting like a king, and they're calling him His Excellency. Well, anyway, what about the other governors out there? Because we hear all about the restrictions. We hear all about the crackdowns. We hear all about the lockdowns and how many people are on lockdown. Half of the Earth's population on lockdown as of earlier this week.
Who's rebelling?
Which states are the ones who are not? And thankfully, the New York Times has done the research. So according to Sarah Mervosh and Jack Healy, a surge in coronavirus deaths in the United States has prompted the vast majority of governors to order their residents to stay home, but a small number of states are resisting increasingly urgent calls to shut down. The pressure on the holdouts in the Midwest and the South has mounted in recent days as fellow governors, public health experts, and even their own citizens urge them to adopt tougher measures that have been put in place across 41 states and Washington, D.C. Health experts warn the coronavirus can easily exploit any gaps in a state-by-state patchwork of social distancing in the country, where the death toll climbed past 6,600 on Friday. which, by the way, is a fraction of the amount of people that die from the flu every year.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, so anyway, after a couple comments from some bureaucrats, by Friday, 9 states had yet to issue formal statewide stay-at-home orders. It's the most direct, stringent measure available, going beyond closing down restaurants and schools and instructing all residents to stay at home except for necessities. In some of those cases, or in some of those states, cities and counties stepped in to issue their own orders, leaving a patchwork of restrictions.
So who are the states? Let's get into the meat.
The contrast is the starkest in 5 of the 9 states: Arkansas, Iowa, Nebraska, North Dakota, and South Dakota, where there are no such orders in place.
The Dakotas, nice.
Either in major cities or statewide. Another 4 had partial restrictions issued locally in certain cities or countries, or rather counties. In interviews and at news conferences this week, the governors in the holdout states defended their decision, saying they had already taken strong steps, closing schools and shutting down or limiting many aspects of public life, including restaurants, bars, gyms, bowling alleys, and movie theaters. So, just to be clear, these states that are the so-called holdout states are only holdouts from total shutdown, meaning no so-called non-essential businesses allowed to operate. They have still restricted a myriad of aspects of life. If you had a restaurant, you can't let people in. So I don't think it's, from the way this story sounds, it doesn't sound like there's any of the 50 states that have done nothing. It sounds like there's 0 states that have not put in some sort of authoritarian restrictions.
One of the guys we know made the drive from Portland to New Hampshire recently.
Yeah.
And so using that sort of that as sort of a basis of a map, my friend Chris and I were speculating, are there any bars that are open along that route? We couldn't find any.
No, it doesn't sound like there is.
Not one, coast to coast, from Portland to New Hampshire, which is, we're almost on the East Coast.
You can still get bottled beverages from bars here in New Hampshire.
Yes, you can, but you can't go into a bar, sit down, and have a beer.
Correct.
At the bar.
So again, just to be clear, it seems like 0 states have done no restricting whatsoever. So even the 5 states that they've singled out here, again, Arkansas, Iowa, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, they just don't have the so-called lockdown orders in place, meaning you can still run a business there, except for certain businesses, and there's some restrictions on some of the businesses. So in interviews and news conferences, these governors defended their decision, saying they had taken some steps, but Governor Kim Reynolds of Iowa said, quote, "I can't lock the state down. People also have to be responsible for themselves."
Oh my gosh, what a novel idea.
For many conservative governors who believe strongly in small government and personal responsibility, at least so they claim, the prospect of mandatory stay-at-home orders is anathema, and they rejected what they call a catch-all approach that could wreck their states' economies. Although apparently they're fine with wrecking the restaurant business.
Yeah, or wrecking the national economy or the global economy.
Though governors issuing the orders elsewhere have spanned the political spectrum, with some Republican governors emerging as early and strong advocates, sadly including New Hampshire's governor. The remaining holdout states are all Republican-led. Governor Doug Burgum of North Dakota said he was appealing to residents who, quote, "love liberty and freedom," to respect social distancing rules. He said it's important that we exercise individual responsibility at a news conference, saying further, "By following these guidelines, we're literally saving lives." And if that's all they were doing, I wouldn't have as much of a problem. I still would sort of just generally be against the idea, simply because I think that social distancing is antisocial and anti-human.
Is there any evidence that social distancing saves any lives?
Well, they want you to believe that.
How do you measure that?
Yeah, some are saying you haven't measured far enough. Some are saying you have to stay 25 feet away, or 24 or 26 feet away.
No, but I mean,
from other people.
As a technician, right, you generally put a system into place for an end goal.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have to be able to measure whatever it is you did to see whether or not that thing you did was effective. Right?
Well, how can you do it if you don't have a control group?
If all these people are putting in all these rules to force people to social distance themselves and not go to work and all that kind of stuff, how are they measuring how many lives that they're saving by doing that? Exactly. So
there's
what's
no control
the point?
group unless you look at Belarus, right? 855-450 free if you want to join us here. These holdout governors have issued different levels of restrictions within their states. Iowa has adopted a points system to determine whether particular parts of the state should be ordered to shelter in place. In Nebraska, restaurants in more rural areas were still open for customers to eat in.
Oh, my gosh.
As long as there were fewer than 10 at a time. Other states with partial restrictions.
Wait, are flights still cheap?
I would imagine so.
I wonder if I could take like an overnight flight just to go like sit down in a restaurant somewhere, have a meal, drink at a bar.
They're not cheap enough to justify doing that, but
sons of bastards.
Other states with partial restrictions in cities or counties, but no statewide orders include Oklahoma, South Carolina, Utah, and Wyoming. Governor Greg Abbott of Texas had previously toughened social distancing guidelines, but stopped short of calling the move a statewide stay-at-home order. On Friday, a spokesbureaucrat clarified that Texas was indeed under a statewide mandate, so they changed their mind. And then Friday, governors of Missouri and Alabama, who had previously resisted that move, also issued stay-at-home orders. So, not all of them have done it, but only a handful haven't.
And again, as a statist, I thought wrongly that this country, we and our and all that kind of crap I used to say all the time, and I still say because I slip back into it from time to time, but I thought that this country was full of freedom-loving people who loved the idea of individuality, and people who loved the idea of everybody was free to make their own choices as long as they didn't hurt anybody else in the process. But that doesn't seem to be the case at all.
Interestingly, there's a response to this, what you're talking about there, from Nancy DeBoer. She's a nurse in South Dakota, and she says, if we don't get some clear directive from our governor, people will begin to rationalize reasons for getting together. It's not that bad. I see them anyway at the store. It's our governor's responsibility to show some leadership.
It's going to be a crime to host movie night or game night soon, if it isn't already?
Probably 8:55, 450, free like freedom. You can join us here.
Are you in there peacefully playing Monopoly?
So now I've got this pack of 4 Shar-Pei rescue dogs for, oh my goodness, probably 5-6 years. They get a regular diet of Dinovite with every meal.
DINOVITE.com.
People remark on what beautiful coats they've got. I tell them, you don't need to wait until a problem presents itself. It's far better to keep the dog happy and healthy at all times.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Are you about to meet the media? If you're about to be interviewed, do their homework for them. Know this about the person who will interview you. He or she is busy, so expect minimal, if any, preparation. He or she doesn't know as much about your topic as you do. He or she isn't as concerned as you are about getting your message out, so you need to take responsibility. Provide a biography and fact sheet, photographs, or other materials that tell your story. Reporters won't be put off if you supply frequently asked questions. Remember, Public Speaking 101, at the end of the speech, what's the one thing you want them to remember? You can download the document I supply to reporters who interview me and squirm through a video that demonstrates how not to conduct your media interview at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Yeah, it's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free if you want to join us here. The number 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And I am the heavy metal, less bearded version of Santa Claus.
Also known as Captain Kickass.
That's me.
For years, libertarians have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and there have been a couple lackluster efforts at this, but finally, Liberty.menu got it right. They do a great job, and it's easy to use, especially if you're an individual who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. You belong over at Liberty.menu. You can list the things that you do there. Maybe you've got a business or an event, which you probably don't have an event at this point, but maybe someday you will again. And digital content, well, you might have that. You can go and list that, and you can rate and review other people's listings. There's a bit of a social networking aspect as well. You can use code FTL on your user profile to get a Free Talk Live listener badge for your profile at liberty.menu. Again, it's for libertarians only. Go to liberty.menu, or voluntarists or anarchists, people that care about freedom. Liberty.menu. As we go to your phone calls and thoughts, let's start with Ann. She's listening in Marshall, Michigan. Ann, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hi guys. Thank you for letting me on. Good evening.
Of course. Go ahead.
And I'm from Michigan, and I have to say that I'm just shocked at all of this. It really took me for a loop. And
what is the most shocking to you?
I'm a strong conservative. Yes. Sorry, a little nervous.
Okay.
And a patriot. And I listen to you guys. I listen to this station a
You're
lot.
listening to WBCK out of Battle Creek.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Great FM talker.
So
Go ahead.
there's a big variety of shows, and I still listen to you guys. Sometimes you guys are a little more out there than what I kind of am, but I like a lot of things that you guys say. But I have to tell you what, after this going on now, I'm like, tonight I'm like, you know what, you guys, I'm with you, because this is scaring the crap out of me.
Give me an example. What's the scariest part?
Whitmer has locked down everything.
Is this the governor of Michigan, Whitmer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gretchen Whitmer.
Gotcha.
Yes. She has locked down everything, even the gun shops. Like this last week, shut them down. They were open the week before that, but this week
that is shocking.
Like,
I don't understand how anybody can force that to happen. I don't care who they are.
I don't understand.
See, they have men with guns, Captain Kickass, who will come and shoot you. So I have to wonder, are there any gun stores that are bucking the trend, that are there saying, you know what, screw you, we're going to stay open?
Not that I know right now.
That's
I was going to call this one that I talked to like a week ago. I think it was last Saturday. And they said they were staying open. They said they couldn't be shut down because we had something in the Constitution, one of the articles says that they cannot shut.
Yeah, how about the right to
down,
life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? How about that? Aside from the whole, you've got a right to bear arms, because that's in most state constitutions as well. But the right to liberty.
How does it? I'm like, wait a minute. What about all this? Yeah, how does this even happen? So
Here's how it happens.
I want to be
here's how it happens. Let me answer your question. It happens because business owners, for as long as I've been alive, and as long as my parents have been alive, and probably as long as my grandparents, who are no longer alive, but as long as they were around, they have done what they were told. And that's where the problem starts. Yeah. Because as soon as you allow yourself to be licensed, you are no longer exercising a right. As soon as any business owner went to a state government or city or town government and said, I want to open a business, tell me what it is I need to do. Well, you need to go over here and get this license from this bureaucrat, and then you got to go over here and pay this bribe and get this permit from this other bureaucrat, and then if you do pay A, B, C, and D and jump through these hoops, then we might let you open up your business.
Yeah, government. What's the phrase about licensing? Licensing is what happens when the government takes away some of your rights and then sells them back to you for a fee.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's like that here in Michigan. It's so hard to get ahead. I'm 62 now. We had big economic reduction like in 1979, 1980, and I was pretty young then. And things kind of started getting better. I moved to Florida for 2 years and then came back with my ex. At the time we had come back. But and I ended up getting a job after that. Started doing a little better. But then times started getting, I changed what I was working with. Went to help my dad, and things started getting bad again, like in the late 90s and the early 2000s, and it was just really, it was like a struggle, and then finally got a decent job in 06, and then we had that recession in like 09, 010 that killed Michigan. Tons of the real estate market, like,
if you thought that was bad,
get ready.
It's going to get even worse.
I know. So I'm like, now I'm at this point, I've made things back, I'm better than I've ever been before, and now this, and I'm just
you couldn't do anything about it. It was all brought upon you by these government goons. And thank you, Ann, for your call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, and they're going to hurt people's businesses. They're going to destroy freedom. They're going to destroy the freedom to run a business. And then they're going to say, well, now you need us. Now we need to hand you money so you can keep food being put in your family's mouth.
I have a question for society. If you're listening, society, I have a question for you. If the correct societal response to something that might be deemed that kills people, if the correct response is for all businesses and all that kind of thing or whatever to shut down, well, government kills far more people than the coronavirus has, by orders of magnitude, right?
Yeah, sure.
So why isn't government shut down?
Oh, well, because we got to have government. You got to break a few eggs in order to have an omelet, Captain Kickass. If it weren't for government,
I'm just saying, look at the numbers.
It would be anarchy. If it weren't for government, we would have chaos.
No, I don't think we'd have chaos, actually.
I would argue that we already have that, and the government is just the current warlords.
Correct.
So, to the point that I was just making before we go on with the other calls, to the point about the obedience is the problem.
Yes.
The long-running obedience. So it's not like this was, this government structure was built in a day. It was built over generations of government indoctrination in the government schools, indoctrinating people to be obedient, to do what they're told, and to do the right thing, you got to go get your license. Well, companies in Washington state, according to GeekWire.com, that fail to comply with Governor Jay Inslee's stay-at-home order could lose their business licenses, Inslee announced a range of new enforcement measures.
God, Jay, you can go F yourself.
To compel businesses and individuals in the state to limit person-to-person exposure, Inslee ordered all non-essential companies that can't operate by telecommute to shut down a week ago. The executive order requires Washingtonians to stay in their homes except for so-called essential activities. The governor said that while most people are complying with the order, local law enforcement officials have received thousands of calls reporting gatherings.
Hey, if you're going to snitch on your neighbor for having a gathering, you're the exact kind of person that would have turned in
the Jews.
Yeah, exactly.
He says, these people who are calling us are very concerned about their health and the health of others, and how the actions of folks who aren't on the team are putting so many people at risk. I'm still not sure how it is that, let's say, us going and hanging out last night at a party in, downtown Keene would somehow put someone at risk who was staying in their home. How is that putting those people at risk? I still haven't figured that out. Can you explain it to me? 855-450-FREE. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live.
For me, it's fighting negativity, and the negativity is my thoughts in my head that are negative. And I had to learn to recognize when my thoughts were being negative, because most of my life, most of my thoughts were negative. Mm-hmm. So I had to become aware of when they were happening. And when I become aware of these negative thoughts pervading my thinking, I immediately fight them with positive thoughts. And most of the positive thoughts that I feed myself are positive affirmations about who I am, where I'm going, where I've come from.
Whenever I find myself thinking negatively, I don't consider it fighting the negative thoughts. I just consider it changing my train of thought. I just kind of change tracks to a positive thought and just focus on that.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You are invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And Captain Kickass.
855-450-3733. Forkfest 2020 still expected to happen unless there's some sort of a shutdown of all campgrounds in New Hampshire. Unless Rogers Campground decides to close, Forkfest will go on because Forkfest has no organizers.
Don't we know some like freedom-loving, awesome person with 40 acres or something, that we could possibly have as a backup location?
I don't know. I mean, there are some freedom lovers who have some acres, but whether they're campable acres is a whole other question.
Okay, good point.
Unless you've got some clear space, it can be uncomfortable to like sleep on some roots and rocks and things like that.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to have the right kind of property for a campground. But anyway, Rogers is an awesome place to be. You have not been there yet.
I'm looking
Captain
forward to it,
Kickass,
and I
so.
sure as heck hope that I'm going to get to go.
Yeah, me too. And we're planning on it. We're planning on being there. It's going to be June 29th through July 5th. It's going to be happening at Rogers Campground, which is in the beautiful White Mountains of northern New Hampshire. This will be the 4th year for Forkfest. It is a decentralized libertarian camping festival, which means there's no one in charge. There's no board of directors. There's no organizers. You organize yourself. So you figure out what you want to do. Maybe you want to just hang out with other people, liberty-minded folks, on Independence Day weekend. That's a cool thing to do.
Sounds like a great idea to me.
Maybe you want to bring something to the table. Maybe you want to create a thing for people to do. Maybe you want to have a poker night, or you want to put a musical event on, or maybe you want to put a play on, or maybe you want to have a speaker series, or I don't know what you want to do. You figure that out.
Yep.
And then everybody kind of does their own thing, and there's all kinds of neat things to do. And there's people who are cooking, and it's a lot of fun. Forkfest, that's forkfest.party. That's an unofficial website, and that's where you can link over to a Forkfest chat room on Telegram and the Forkfest forums.
What you described sounds like anarchy.
No, it's not quite, because there's still a property owner who can make decisions for that property, but it sure is a decentralized festival, and that is a lot of fun.
I mean, voluntary for sure, right?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we continue with your calls and thoughts here. Let's go next to Jack. He's in Daytona Beach listening to WNDB.
Hello.
Hi there, Jack. You're on Free Talk Live.
How you doing?
Hey, good.
Yeah, I'm in Volusia County in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yes, sir.
And what happened was they decided to close the beaches down totally. Nobody could go there, nothing. So the other day I go down there, I'm like, man, it's so eerie. Like there's nobody on the beach. Anyway, the county regulates the beach, and the city basically gave the rights to the county to tell them what to do. So this one woman from the city, who's I think a councilwoman or whatever committee she was on, said no, you should let it be open to joggers and people. Anyway, long story short, a day later, they opened the beach to bikers, people riding their bicycles, people want to fish, they want to do this and that. I see I'm one house from the beach. I see the whole town all of a sudden riding bikes. I hear kids laughing again. It was amazing.
All these people out having fun? That sounds like a problem. We can't have that.
I gotta believe they were 6 to 12 feet apart.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the serious that I like this guy Mark, who does a radio station on this WNDB, and he was so angry at this woman that she would call against the county guy. Well, you put the power into him. He chose that. Why would you reverse it? Why? Because she had a better idea. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's amazing what I've seen in this town. My neighbors, everybody, oh my God, Jack, get over here. We're going to walk on the beach. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we don't want 8 million. You can't lay on the beach. You can't hang out. You can't have parties. You can't have chairs. But you can use the beach. Mentally, we all need that. We need to get out and exercise and think and feel free. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the sad thing is people wouldn't have done it if it weren't allowed, a lot of them. They would have just cowered in their homes.
Oh, no, we all didn't do it. Believe me, I went down there with my dog, and the cop was right there in the police department. Really? I was like, okay, whatever, I'm going to respect this. But my point is that, I mean, it was amazing how it was like a lift of the whole street, and all of a sudden I see kids riding on their bikes and people laughing, people talking, people going to the beach. Nobody's going to hang out. I mean,
so what you're saying is this one little change made a big difference in the mental well-being of your neighbors.
I couldn't believe politics that, this guy on the radio got so nasty about this woman that would go against this.
So wait, the guy on the
county
radio
guy,
was in favor of the beach lockdown?
Well, apparently he felt that the woman who brought it up, even though it was a better idea, that she went against what they voted to do.
Well,
And
earlier in the call, you said the county regulates the beach. And I just want to point out that in the context of government, the word regulate means own. The county owns the beach. The county is deciding
100%.
whether or not people are allowed, quote unquote, to go use a piece of the earth that they didn't buy from anybody. They just claim to own it because they have guns.
Jack, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. C is on the line in Pennsylvania, watching us on dlive.lrn.fm. Go ahead, C.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Good, you're on the air.
What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of just quick revert back to his question as far as government-wise, if he thinks that, we don't need one or been better off. But, I mean, it all depends on how you look at it. If no one would have voted in the first place a long time ago and created this system, then yes, he's right. But being that it's in play, if we didn't, then, China and Russia would just sneak attack us like they're trying to do in an aspect right now.
Well, we didn't do anything, right? There's no we involved in ancient history. At some point, and I don't know who these people are, at some point somebody decided that having a weaponized popularity contest was the way to do things. Who decided that and how they got everybody to go along with it?
They didn't go along
I'll never
with
know.
it. The people didn't vote for this government to be in place. A bunch of men met in a room and wrote some stuff on a piece of paper, and they propagated that out there. It wasn't like there were people out there begging them to do that. Yeah. Most of the people just, I think, wanted to be left alone by the king. I don't know if they wanted their own king. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know.
So I don't know why society believes that, having these popularity contests to determine who's going to run whatever, government is in power at the time was the way to get things done. It obviously isn't if you look at the facts and the evidence. Government is an institution that does three things very well, and that's kill people, take your money, and otherwise control you.
It's a monopoly on violence. See, you said something about you're afraid of... I don't know what that was. See, you're afraid of the Chinese government and the Russians. What exactly do you think they're going to do to you?
Oh, no, I just said if we didn't have a government, then our borders would be liable. But
what do you think they would do exactly?
What do I think they would do?
Yeah.
I mean, just in the aspect of let's just per se, how much money that our deficit is in the United States, regardless. So the Federal Reserve doesn't even really it doesn't even exist. So being that we don't have enough gold to back that money up the way it is, so you put a $2 trillion stimulus out there that it's only for the American people to keep them happy. So obviously there's something else is going on because since Bill Clinton was in a free trade agreement in 2000. Bill Clinton signed that. All the companies went over. They stole patents. They stole our jobs. They stole the industry, everything.
Okay, you've covered a lot of ground, and I didn't talk about the Federal Reserve, and I'm happy to talk about the Federal Reserve, but I asked you, what is it you're afraid that the Chinese and the Russians are going to do if there was no American government around? You think they're going to invade? What are you afraid of?
No. I just think in the time right now, in the tensions, what's going on. Just right now, what's going on. If we didn't have one as tomorrow.
Yeah, if tomorrow the federal government disappeared, what do you think would happen?
I think China would come and get the land that they own.
How? They're going to invade?
How? They just went under us, right under our military without us knowing in a submarine that had low ping things like sonar. They actually went.
Are you saying they're going to invade the United States? Because it seems like they sell a lot of products to us. And I don't know if they would want to, kill their biggest customer. That doesn't make much sense to me. And there's a lot of guns in the United States as well.
Yeah,
so
there's no more difficult place to take over than a heavily armed populace.
Yeah, I don't think that, all this fear-mongering, and thank you for the call, C, about, we're going to get invaded. Good luck to any invaders in the United States. You don't need a military to defend the United States. The people will do just fine. More coming up.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon you'll need a plan and place to survive.
Forget bunkers. You're not a live underground gopher. You need survivalist camps, the ultimate fully functional, off-the-grid mobile survival bug-out house that's well-equipped and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Bold statement? You bet. See them now at survivalistcamps.com. That's survivalistcamps.com. Trust your family's survival to survivalistcamps.com.
Attention all radio listeners who still need food supplies. If you've thought about the implication of food-related supply chain disruptions and are concerned about the coming quarantines, this will be the most important message you will ever hear. Here's why. In the next few days, all Americans will face extremely hard choices. If we've learned anything from China and Italy, it's that quarantines and enforced lockdowns are just a few days away here in the U.S. Listen, while dehydrated food is becoming scarce, you can still get enough open pollinated heirloom seeds to grow a 1-acre crisis garden. The truth is, growing nutrient-dense vegetables in the days ahead may actually be the single most important thing you do. Go to survivalseedbank.com and watch the new video to understand the nature of the threat. This could be life-saving. Lockdowns can last from 6 to 8 weeks. Get free bonus seeds, special quarantine reports too. Go to survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com.
With more people listening to radio than visit Google, Facebook, or YouTube, from the very young to the very old, everyone listens to radio. Pillow companies, alarm, identity theft, nutrition, insurance, banking, automotive, the list goes on and on. Billion-dollar businesses. Why? The answer is radio, the media everyone tunes into. Find out how effective and affordable radio can be for your business. Contact 877-996-4327 or advertise at gcnlive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone? You forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection. You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free here. Number's 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We were just looking at some of these numbers that one of our listeners and amplifiers, actually, American Psycho, has posted in our coronavirus channel on the Discord over at, by the way, you can join the Discord and interact with other Free Talk Live listeners at discord.lrn.fm. And he posted the New York City government numbers posted as of April 4th, so today, So this is the numbers of people who have died in New York City. And looking at the age groups, of course, you see the majority of the deaths are in the older range, meaning 45 to 64, a total of 535 people have died. 65 to 74, a total of 557 have died. 75 and over, a total of 1,028 have died. However, there are subcategories of these groups. One of them is underlying conditions. And then there's a little number one, little asterisk kind of one next to it. Underlying illnesses include diabetes, lung disease, cancer, immunodeficiency, heart disease, hypertension, asthma, kidney disease, and GI/liver disease. So some bad stuff.
Okay.
Of the 75 and older categories, that's one everybody's worried about, right? Like old people dying from COVID. 610 out of the 1,028 people who've died, so the majority, had an underlying condition, at least one.
Okay.
Only 4 had no underlying conditions. Only 4 of the 1,028 people who died from COVID-19 had no underlying conditions.
That's a tiny figure.
And then there's another category, 414 people, again, 75 and over, so 414 out of 1,028 are under the category of underlying conditions pending. And I'm not sure what that means.
Well, I speculated that it means that perhaps an autopsy hasn't been done, or perhaps the person died and the medical folks haven't confirmed with, I don't know, their primary physician or their medical records that they did or didn't have, sort of pending. I don't know what that would mean. And you said you were looking online?
Yeah, I searched for the term underlying conditions pending and could not find, in the brief amount of time that we had, I could not find anything but discussions like the one we're having where people are like, what's that mean?
Yeah.
And there's no meaningful response from like somebody in, the medical field or something like that. Because if it was some sort of a test that was pending, you would think it wouldn't say underlying conditions. It would say like test pending or no autopsy yet or whatever. Right. But it's not clear to me what that means. It almost sounds like they have some sort of underlying condition, but they're not sure which one. I don't know.
Maybe they're guessing and that they have multiple. I don't know. If there's any medical folks,
that up, please. And if you don't get to call in about it, you can shoot the answer over into our chat room on our Discord. We're in the on-air, or actually that one's being asked in coronavirus. I asked the question there. What does underlying conditions pending mean?
Yep.
But either way, shocking numbers here, for all the people out there who are freaking out thinking that, grandma's going to die from this. Well, maybe she will if she's already got lung disease or cancer.
What was the number? How many pending?
414 out of 1,028 underlying conditions pending.
Let's just assume that they all have an underlying condition, right?
That would mean that only 4 of the 1,028 people died with no underlying conditions, which is nothing. I mean, that's almost zero.
It's a statistical anomaly in the world of mathematicians.
It's statistical noise. I mean, it's nothing.
Yes.
So, again, not saying that this is bad. This isn't bad for the 610 who did die.
Just for the sake of, playing devil's advocate, let's assume the other way. Let's assume those folks didn't have an underlying condition, right? So add them to the 4. What percentage is that?
Not even half. So we go on here. And again, it doesn't tell you how many of the people 75 and over survived.
Right.
We're only looking at the numbers who died.
Right.
So we go on with your calls and thoughts here. Let's talk to Ron in Daytona Beach, listening to WNDB.
Hey, how are you?
Hello, Ron.
I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing?
Good. You're on the air.
Yeah, I know. You guys do. I want to just comment on you and Captain Kickass. You guys do a superb job.
Thanks.
I've been listening for about the past 5 months. Very informative. You guys are very well up on everything. Very educational. I want to make a comment about the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
The thing is this. I called in probably, I'm sure it was last week or week before, and you asked me how many people did I know that I really know concrete who has contracted the coronavirus, relatives or no. I absolutely know anybody.
You do not know anyone, is what you're saying.
I do not know anybody. I've been in public relations all my life. I know no one that I have been in contact with whom I've known for years or don't know through the workforce socially, and I don't social a lot, but as I said, I've been in public relations all my life. I mingle with quite a few people daily. I know no one who has the coronavirus.
Well, again, that doesn't mean that some people don't have it, but it is interesting, right? Like, I don't see how anyone can call this a pandemic, that this is so widespread.
Right.
When very few people I know will claim that they know somebody who has this. My ex-girlfriend says a couple of her raver friends had contracted it.
Yeah.
And I have a customer of mine who buys Bitcoin from me, who lives in Florida. She's elderly. She says her daughter and granddaughter had it and beat it.
I know. I got an email from a list that I'm on about heavy metal music news. The drummer for the thrash band Death Angel did contract the COVID. They had him in a coma for, I don't know, a week or something. They put a tube down his throat to pump the fluid out. They treated him basically just like he had pneumonia, with the exception of putting him in a coma. But he came out and he's recovering. He's fine. But that's the closest that anybody I know, would have. And I've never met the man.
And I know, and I appreciate that. I know you guys are running out of time. I want to make one more brief comment. If you go into convenience stores, they have plastic hanging down by the counter, as if it's going to stop that.
Right.
And the thing that I don't agree with, and I know for safety and health reasons, everybody is walking around with masks. It kind of reminds me of the Lone Ranger or maybe Michael Jackson. Now, and the reason I'm mentioning this is this. Don't you know, with most of the faces are covered up partially, that crime, this could be a very security problem. If someone goes out and commits a crime, how are you going to make a positive identity on them with a mask?
They've all got masks on, yeah.
And it also ruins the facial recognition stuff.
That's not a bad thing necessarily.
I agree, but I'm just saying.
Hey, Ron, thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate it. Although I will say this, we live in a place where wearing a mask is legal. Meaning, in some places, if you walk down the street with a mask on, you're committing a crime.
Right, yeah.
In New Hampshire, it is completely legal to wear a mask out and about. And you know what? We don't have a problem with robberies or whatever, more so than anywhere else. In fact, I would say probably less often, because it's also legal for the guy behind the counter to have a shotgun or whatever other gun he wants to blast a robber if they actually try that crap. Let's go on here with Dell in Arkansas. Dell, you're on Free Talk Live. I think you're listening to KTFS there in Texarkana.
That's correct, gentlemen.
Welcome, sir. You're on the air.
I wonder if y'all could address how much of this stimulus package has been dedicated toward prevention. In other words, no more bioweapons research or anything like that. There's some rumors that this thing could have come from some labs in the United States and been stolen by China. I don't know about all that, but I was curious whether the stimulus package addresses the cause of this to begin with.
Well, let's see here. There's a handy little anatomy of the $2 trillion COVID-19 stimulus bill story from visualcapitalist.com that gives you a nice little graph, kind of breakdown of this. There's $300 billion cash payments, $260 billion unemployment payments, student loans, $43.7 billion, $425 billion loans for corporations, including airlines and contractors. They get a few more billions in there. National security, another $17 billion there, $350 billion for new loans for small businesses. COVID-19 response, $274 billion, which goes to state and local governments. So loads of money just getting handed out left and right. Education, schools, etc. So maybe there's going to be a little bit of money put into some education, but
laughable.
It's all going to be run by the government, so it'll be total propaganda. Del, I wish we had more time for you, man, but we don't.
Statism, the real pandemic.
Yeah, and don't worry, they're going to print even more money out after this one, because this is just the beginning. So get ready for that inflation. They're going to crank out the money printer. Money printer go brrrr. Say bye-bye to your savings. See you tomorrow. Free Talk Live.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.